eye tonight. And as I mentioned, I'm not super fond of that idea. I don't really want to go to sleep on an airplane. I don't know that I'm going to be able to fall asleep on an airplane. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to be on vacation for the next several days at least. So I won't be streaming. Probably won't be uploading anything either because I can't imagine that I'll want to do book reviews and writing video. Maybe I'll do a writing video from Turks and Caicos so you can see me writing on the beach or something like that. But I probably won't upload it until I get back. Just because I'm just going to check out for a little bit. Amber, welcome and congratulations on the baby finally coming. Jeez, I was beginning to think you were just going to be pregnant forever there. So yeah, I'm just going to check out. So I think my plan is I'm just going to turn Facebook off my phone, turn Twitter off my phone, turn YouTube off my phone, and just 100% check out while I'm in Turks and Caicos and just relax for like 5 days. Now I'm going to do my writing. I've not been writing, I've mentioned very much in the last couple weeks. And it's partially because I'm, work and gearing up for the vacation, all that. Hey, Drake, welcome. And it's also partially because I'm in the middle of moving. Also, we're trying to sell our house. So all my free time's like pack these books, sell the house. I actually moved my entire Epic collection. Yes, that's real. To my office here. I want to actually show you guys because I've got every Epic collection in one spot now, which is pretty good. And I'm big into these Epic collections, as you might know. I'm in the process of like moving stuff from walls or furniture. Let me see if there. Starts off with Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, goes all the way down to this fourth row where it stops. And I've just got some random extra books right here. They're not organized yet, but this is every Epic collection in print. Not this. I do have some Star Wars ones, but I don't have all of the Star Wars ones, but I have the rest now in print, and they look beautiful on the shelf with these matching spines and all that. That makes me very, very happy as an OCD organized collector type. So that is what I've got. And I'm very excited just to have this neatly in one place. So I'll be doing a lot of reviews of these. As you know, I'm very into these Epic collections because they go through the really best era of history for comics. What I loved about comics was that 60s through 90s period where, the Silver Age really developed because they changed their model where they weren't just one-off stories. The characters actually had, background people who developed with them, the background people, supporting cast, that's the way to call it. And I just love reading it. I could sit here and read him all day long if somebody would let me. I pretty much, my reading secret for how I try to, we ban the historian here, somebody in the chat. I don't deal with nonsense on this channel. And so if you're going to start like, actual gamma male stuff with me on here, I just ban you immediately. So don't even bother. Don't come. Not interested in having you here. I'd rather you not watch. So I'm talking about Silver Age comics right now. If you want to join that discussion, you can message me and say you're sorry, and I might let you back. So that's about it. All right. Yeah, that era of comics is really where you got continuing stories. You got single issues, which I also liked, where you have a story in a single issue. It's developing into something bigger. They continue along. The cast of characters develops. They change. Their relationships change. And it didn't seem like they were just trying to hit the reset button. Oh, can you ban Gladiator also, please? Somebody who is in the chat. Why would you think you'd come here like they were and just call me names? We're not doing this. So you're a bunch of just like really sad losers who just want to just harass me. And it's really insane. So get a life, go do something else. Thank you. All right. Yeah, we'll get these for a while. I think eventually we'll clear everybody out, and it'll be just be nice, and we won't have any stuff like that. But the Silver Age is where things changed and things were interesting, and it's pre the movie era, right? Everything changed again once and we're not talking the MCU where it's the last 10 years or whatever, right? We're talking in the late 80s, early 90s is when Marvel actually, and DC too, switched to realize that their content can be licensed out to movies, and that's far more lucrative. Even during the heyday of comics, it's far more lucrative than even when comics were selling in the hundreds of thousands. So they wanted to make sure everything was set and ready for these properties to become movie properties, and that's where the shift changed. That's where everything changed to be more cinematic in the storytelling, to where war campaign coming for that booty. All right, anybody who like war campaigns anything, just ban. Thank you. I'm not dealing with this. So this is a fun place where we're hanging out and we're just talking about comics. So if you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to go off on me, you can't do that here. All right. And the comics changed in the 90s. And of course, they went grittier and darker and lost the heroism. There's storytelling elements there. But they also tried to shift the comic medium to where they constantly reset everything. And this happened as early as Crisis with DC, where DC did this in the 80s to reset their universe, and then Marvel was like, wait, we can just reset our universe, and then they followed suit, and now it's just a constant reset game, and now it resets every time there's a new writer on a book. So it's like there's really no point to any of these stories from that point forward. But from that 60s till the 90s, and the Epic Collection stopped at about Onslaught, which is the first major Marvel reset. Onslaught really changed everything in that they were pulling the heroes out, redoing them in iconic versions, and when they came back from a new universe, they're changed, and they used it as an excuse to just reset things and retcon things, and you never had real development from characters from that point. We are really getting harassed today. I'm sorry about this, guys, and thank you, moderators in the chat, for doing a good job. We've just got this insane group of people, and they just keep coming. And this is the Gamma Mail. I wrote an article about this morning, and I'll get into that in a second. But I want to finish my my comic book talk. So let me do that. So at that point, it changed, of course, and for the worse. But that's where the Epic Collection stopped. So you get this beautiful contained universe where it's it's got a beginning, it's got to end. You know where it's going. You know that you can just if you can compartmentalize and just forget all this newer stuff exists. You can just read these Epic Collections and understand that that this is the universe. It ends here. And this is where these heroes' stories stop, and you can be happy with that. And that's what I've done with my comic reading. It just makes me very happy to enjoy these old stories from all these old writers and artists. I think the Marvel House style of art in the 70s and 80s was also beautiful, and I'm really sad that they got rid of that. Once those Image guys started changing things format-wise, it really took away from comics. So, but that doesn't matter, because in these Epic Collections, there is just beautiful happiness. I'm reading Master of Kung Fu right now, and Master of Kung Fu is something I never checked out before, and I probably wouldn't have, except for the Marvel Epic podcast, the Epic Marvel podcast, I'm sorry, which Curtis Finlay runs. And he was doing an episode on that, and I wanted to, I like to do my reading to keep up with his episodes at the same time. And that way I can it's like a mini book club, right? So it's I know what episode, I know he's going to do a Master of Kung Fu episode. I read my Master of Kung Fu. He does an hour discussing the book. And then you have your mini book club and all that. It's a lot of fun. And I'll do my own review, of course, once I'm done with that. He doesn't really do a overall volume review so much as that he breaks it down issue by issue, does some of the best comic book discussions I've heard out there. So yeah, check out the Epic Marvel podcast. It is the best comic book discussion on the internet, hands down. I'm gonna pop that link in the chat real quick just so you guys can do that. And if you want to follow along with what I'm reading, the upcoming ones are definitely a good way to get into that. So yes, they do. There are Kindle Epic Collections also, so you can get them digitally. So you can, read those on the Kindle Fire like Fiona Wolf was talking. So there's lots of cool stuff. Let's see. Justin says, how's your diet going? Your face looks thinner since I first followed a little while back. Thank you. I've kind of plateaued on the dieting, and I noticed that a while back that I just wasn't losing weight as fast as I was. And of course, during Christmas, I just binge drank and ate a bunch. So I gained a lot of weight over December, which was, by a lot, I mean 5 pounds. I've lost that and then 2 pounds since then. So I'm kind of back to where I'm going. Got to get my beach bod going on for my vacation here this weekend. But yeah, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I'm trying to load up on protein every day. I do my body weight in grams of protein, and then I keep myself to an 1,800 calorie diet, and I fill the rest out with carbs and fat. So you get your protein, and then you kind of balance those carbs and fat. You can do either higher fat and lower carbs, or lower carbs and higher fat, and it kind of works out the same depending on what works for you and what you like to eat. So it works really well, and I pair that with exercise. So I've been in prep for vacation. I've been working out at the gym pretty hard every single day this week. So there's that also. So thanks for noticing and checking in. Let's see. So that's the Epics. And the reason I mentioned the Epics more than you'd be dying on 1,800 calories, really? You got to do 1,800 calories. I really want to get to 1,500 calories. And then I'd probably see my weight losses be pretty good again. And once I dial down the rest of my fat, I've got probably 8 pounds left that I'd like to get rid of. Then I'm gonna make a shift to focus on gains so I can get that rip to look like Graham Nolan has. So that's the deal. So. Yeah, the reason I mentioned the Epics is they're announcing the slate of Epics that are going to be coming out in the 3rd and 4th quarter today. It's going to be on the Near Mint Condition channel, which is another comic book channel. By the way, there's all these comic book channels that don't have anything to do with all the nonsense, and they just talk comics, and they're chill guys. They're not really political in any sort of way. They're actually pretty good about free speech and all that. I mentioned the Epic Marvel podcast, obviously, which focuses on Epic Collection. I've got Near Mint Condition, and Near Mint Condition focuses on collected editions for the most part. It's run by a guy named Omar, and Omar is a friend of mine I talk to very regularly. I just put that link in that and recommend you subscribe to them. So he's actually got preferential treatment from Marvel, to where he gets the collected editions a couple weeks before they come out, so he can preview them for everybody, and then he gets advanced information so you kind of know what's coming out. So if you want to keep up with the omnibuses and Epic collections and things like that, then that's a great spot. He also does, he delves into DC and Image and everything too. So he doesn't just solely focus on Marvel. You can tell he's a Marvel guy, because he leans his content more that direction. But yeah, if you are into the collected edition sort of stuff like I am these days, that is a great channel also. And later today, they're going to be doing a live stream together as Curtis from the Epic Marvel podcast and Omar from Near Mint Condition, where they're going to be announcing the new Epics that are going to fill out the rest of the year that haven't been announced yet. So I'm excited for that. I don't know that I'm actually going to be able to make the stream because I might be packing or flying or something like that. As mentioned, I'm going on vacation. But I am excited to hear the information there, and I'll watch it on replay at some point. So good stuff. All right. Wow, we got flooded today. And it's because I wrote an article this morning about the gamma male behavior. And that's what I'll transition to real quick here. There's a propensity. So for those who don't know about the sociosexual hierarchy of males, there's basically, of course, everybody knows the alpha male, and traditionally people break it down into alphas and betas. But another philosopher broke it down into, where am I going on vacation? I'm going to the KGB wedding. Welcome, Greg. And I'm going to be at Greg's wedding in Turks and Caicos. So that's going to be beautiful. So I look forward to seeing you in probably 20. When am I actually going to get in? 20, not about 29 or 30 hours. I'll see you. So I'll probably be jet lagged to hell. So maybe I won't see you just then, but we'll see. Cool. What was I just talking about? I was talking about gamma males. All right, you distracted me. So the alpha and beta thing has been broken down into something, into sort of bigger differentiation, because there are different types of people. There's now alpha, beta, delta, gamma, sort of omicron, and sigmas. And what's the other one? Lambdas, right? So you've got the alpha, which you understand is pretty obvious. It's your leader, your captain of the football team. It's your Donald Trump or Tom Brady, type of person. And they're just very focused people who are driven. People tend to flock to them. They get followed very easily, and that's a pretty obvious sort of thing. And usually tall, pretty ripped. Just your standard type of guy. Then you've got your betas. Their betas are basically the people who follow them, but they're typically very successful also. So they're, you've got your, the betas in this sort of category system is still a very traditionally attractive guy. Probably not the captain of the football team in high school, but the guy who's hanging with the captain of the football team, his best friend, right? Those are your betas, and they just follow the alphas, and they hang out with the alphas. They're very loyal to the alphas. They'll end up friends for life. These are good people who it's tough to like instill loyalty from an alpha because the alpha's just caught in their own thing. But the betas are very typically loyal people who are nice to be around and are very useful. The delta is more like your worker bee, right? So, probably not in the popular squad in high school. They're like your IT guy at work. They're your like low level managers and things like that just kind of they work hard. They do their thing. They're part of the organization. And they're not quite as successful with the beautiful women as the alphas and betas are, obviously. But you've just got your classic sort of worker person. I think this makes up most of the population. This is where most people are just like, friendly, normal. That's what you think of when you think of delta. And our society really is geared towards making sure that deltas have a best shot as a successful life. And that's good because it is most of the population. So that makes sense. And then you've got your gamma males, and your gamma males are usually they repulse women. They are the people who are in your organization that are in the meetings. They want to snipe at whatever's going on. They always want to say something snarky. They always want to say something that says this is just garbage. This is a waste of our time, because they want to show everybody how smart they are, and they believe they're so smart and they're so wonderful, and they're such secret kings that they should really be the people in charge, that they should be the people who are followed, and they're bitter about their lot in life that they're not. And often you talk about the negative features about this a lot, because it's really annoying. Often these are very smart people is the positive aspect of it, right? These people can be extremely intelligent, and they often are, but they just use their intelligence in a socially awkward way that just is not beneficial for anybody around them. And so they cause divisions, they cause problems. Everybody earlier in the chat who I was banning, who's coming in here trying to think about it. I'm trying to do a stream talking about my vacation and the Epic collections and old 60s comics. And these guys come in and they don't want me to be able to focus on this, because they see that I've got a following who wants to listen to what I have to say. They want to change my platform to be able to be talking about them and their interests and things like that, right? And so they always want to shift that around. And you get that a lot in comic books. And actually, Comicsgate itself was built on a gamma male foundation and tendencies. And here's the thing is that, depending on the situation you're in, you might be at a different place in the strata than where you might be. You might be in your normal work job, a beta or a delta, but you could be a gamma online with a certain community. It just depends on how you act and what your lot is, depending on who else you're around, right? That's how social dynamics work. So it's a fluid thing, right? And the Comicsgate was really based on gamma behavior. And looking back on it, I engaged in some of that at the time, but I didn't know it at the time. It's easy to get caught up in the internet around you and see that, but the original aspects of Comicsgate, if you think about it, were going to like Nick Spencer and Dan Slott and Mark Waid and these other comic creators, and going to them and saying, your books are trash, man, you're terrible, and just like, and commenting on their stuff on repeat until they get frustrated and lash out. And then when they get frustrated and lash out, they declare victory and talk about how these people are just terrible people, etc. Right? So it's harassing people until they lash out is what went down. And when you're just making a comment or two about a comic book, it's easy to lose sight that there might be 100 other people doing the same thing. It might be irritating the hell out of the creator, and just going and going and going and being relentless is not actually helpful to that creator who's not going to listen to you. I mean, it's not like they're going to see your comment on the internet being nasty and change the way they write or change their storyline for you. They're just going to block you. They're going to probably double down the opposite direction because they're just so irritated. And that's the only thing gamma males ever accomplish, is they get ostracized from circles. They get people to push the opposite direction because it's annoying every single time. And people just get creeped out or annoyed by that behavior. And that's how it is. So that's how it started, to be honest. That's how Comicsgate really was a gamma reflection, which was targeting these creators. Now, I was looking at it from a different perspective as a journalist, from a higher level perspective, where I just went through and I was running numbers and not necessarily like tagging Dan Slott on all my picture, because I wasn't reading Dan Slott's books. My thoughts are, I'm not reading Dan. Why would I buy Dan Slott's books if I know I'm not going to like them, right? And so, and I gave up on caring about the corporate culture a long time ago. So I just wrote an article saying like, hey, by the numbers, these people are not hiring conservative creators. Anybody who voted for Trump or signals that they're a Republican does not work for Marvel. Marvel, every single one of them had these tendencies on their timeline. And I went through and I found that every single writer at the company was talking about voting a certain way. And that's a journalistic article. So I just did that. And I'm like, here's my evidence. Here's the examples. And this is what blew up the system. Now, the thing is, like, there were all these curmudgeonly gammas ready to just pounce at the same time. And I didn't, they're just going in tandem with me, but at the time I thought that, this is the group that's really going to help stop blacklisting, because I don't like blacklisting and I don't like corporations silencing artists. And that was my intent on changing things. So, but it was really just founded on like hundreds of people who just like went to these guys' Twitters and just called them names, told them their books are trash, et cetera, et cetera. And that's the gammas, right? So that is where that's what it was founded on, unfortunately. And nobody wanted to be around it except for other gammas. So as it snowballed, you just get more gammas and more gammas and more gammas. And comics in general lend themselves towards gamma because of the fantasy, at least Western. I'm talking Western comics. I'm not talking European comics or manga so much. But Western comics, because of the superhero thing, is a fantasy, basically, of the gamma male. And it's if you look at Peter Parker, especially in Spider-Man, Spider-Man is probably the worst example of the gamma male. I mean, maybe the Incredible Hulk. I mean, I know they got gamma in the title, which makes it kind of, because he's the gamma bomb and all that, which makes it kind of funny. But Spider-Man might be a better example of that, because Peter Parker's so smart, but he's always down on his luck. Nobody likes him. He can't hold down a job. He can't do anything, but secretly, he is an amazing person. And if only they saw it, they would see that he's the hero that that the whole world needs, right? And that is the gamma male fantasy. And he gets the beautiful girl Mary Jane, even though he's a gamma male. Like, it would never play out that way in reality. So that's just what they gravitate towards, and that's why it's so popular among the gamma male. That's why it's so popular in general. So there is that. And you can change this behavior, by the way. Somebody mentioned they know they're a gamma and they're working towards delta. I think if you know you have those tendencies and you're trying not to do it, you're in good shape, man. So I would, anytime I see myself trying to display those tendencies, because it is just a pattern of behavior, I just try to stop myself from doing them before I start, because everybody can be prone to the well actually, in the conversation, and most people are not interested in the well actually. So it doesn't help anybody. Twitter really has pushed society in a direction where it lends itself towards that. But yeah, the superhero very much lends itself towards that. Those are the storylines that happen with the superhero almost always. It's always a secret. It's got the secret identity, the secret king, the secret hero, right? And so eventually, especially when Marvel and DC took their books out of newsstands and where normal people actually bought things, and just focused them solely on these specialty shops that are in hidden outlets and in little crappy shopping centers and things like that. And you had to make a destination to go there. And that was the only way you were going to get your fix of these gamma fantasies. You get rid of the average element of society, the average reader, the normal reader, and you get this. And I've talked with some people who are inside the industry. And, if you watch these videos by these gamma males all the time, they're always, the comic industry is dying. It's not. The comic industry is not dying whatsoever. There's the comic shop model is dying, and the single issue model of comics is dying because it doesn't make sense. It's in today's economy where you can go on Amazon and get whatever you want in a click immediately, and you don't have to go to this like ratty little shop with a bathroom that's not been cleaned in a while. And you know what I'm talking about. But that's dying. Of course it's dying. Like who wants to go to those environments? Who wants to go to these environments where it's just gamma males in there posturing, right? And so, but manga's thriving. They've got like little graphic novels now for kids. I mean, again, these superhero books are now focused at 40-year-olds. They're not focused at kids. And I left this in my Incredible Hulk review I just did earlier this morning. So go watch that video if you haven't already. But there's this issue in there where it's like they're psychoanalyzing Doc Samson for an issue, and it's just him sitting on a psychiatrist chair for a whole issue. And it's like, what 11-year-old wants to read that? First off, it's boring. But number two, like he starts going into how he it feels like sex to him to fight the Hulk. And it's like, I wouldn't let my 11-year-old read that, right? And so they've got these weird, comics have really pushed to the point where you can't share them with your kids because you can't trust the content. But that's, again, this comic shop model with these superheroes, legacy properties from these corporations. You go into these graphic novels, like Scholastic put out this graphic novel called The Amulet Saga, and it was geared towards kids. It was just pure graphic novels. They didn't do floppy issues and all that. And they've sold millions of those. So the comic industry is not dying, and there's alternatives. It's just these people are just stuck on, I must buy my Batman. Why is my Batman failing in sales? Well, there's not interesting Batman stories you can tell over and over again for 100 years. That's just oversaturation, and there's nothing to do with the characters at that point. So you're going to have a situation there where it's like not that many people are interested in it, except for the obscene collector who's trapped in there because he's trapped in his gamma male fantasy. And that's all you get. So that's why that's dying. Comics are not dying. Comics are not over. There's not anything on that level where it's like where it's a catastrophe like some of these YouTubers act like. But it is time to turn away from that comic shop model, break the addiction, say, guess what? these floppy issues don't even tell a story. You can't even go. I can't go to a comic shop right now, and if I wanted to pick up like X-Men or whatever, if I picked up that issue, I like the issue of whatever's out right now. I don't know. I wouldn't know what's going on. I wouldn't know who half the characters are. I wouldn't know why they're acting how they are. There's no way. There's no way to just get in an issue at this point. And if I got in, and it happened to be like part 3 or 4 of a storyline. You don't even get the beginning of that like story. I mean, it's just like they don't even progress very much in those middle issues at this point because they pad these books to try to create. They pad these books to try to create 6-issue series all the time for the trade paperback because they know they can sell a lot of those and they don't really worry about the single issues. So there's no point in buying those. There's no point in reading those. It's pointless. And anytime I go into anything, even if I read something modern, perchance, which is not very often, but you'll see I grab like the House of X hardcover, right? And I'll read the entire thing because like, why would I waste my time on a single issue or even a single trade on something like that? So that is what it is. Yeah, crowdfunding doesn't indicate comic success or fans creators, but the comic doesn't reach as nearly as many people as traditional comics. That's why. That's part of why I put my books on crowdfund and put my books into Amazon, because traditional readers and normal people readers are all on Amazon, and Amazon is a nameless, faceless thing where people just buy my books. They don't necessarily know me or know who I am. They buy my books because of what it looks like, and then hopefully they enjoy it. And you got to do that also. The crowdfund's great, but think about this, especially for a first-time crowdfunder. They talk about, oh, my book's so great. Obviously, I made money. Well, it's like nobody's read your book. Like you've never made a book before. So you made money not because of your book. You made it because of your personality on YouTube or whatever. Well, that's great. I mean, that's cool. But I mean, stop pretending like you're brilliant in your book or something like that. Just because, when there's an obvious truth about things. And that's okay. I don't mind people making money off doing that. It's just be honest a little bit. But you'll see these people also don't really talk much about the books. They really talk a lot about just owning the SJWs or, making a game out of pushing something for so long. And I might have to mute real quick. Hold on, somebody's in here. Sorry about that. I wasn't going to leave you for 2 hours while I just like leave the mute and cam and all that off, like the Hut did last night. That was hilarious. So the Hut got, for those who don't know, the Hut got just sort of blasted earlier, you know, like the people did for the chat here at the beginning of the stream. And he just let them go and just like just kept the stream going, turned it off, and just let them go. So it was pretty funny. Let's see. Justin asked, "Have you seen One Punch Man?" I've watched the first like 3 episodes, and I found it pretty fun. I would like to watch more. I just don't have a lot of time to watch TV, but yes, I've enjoyed what I have seen of it. What else did you guys say? This is why I need a co-host, because if I need to duck out for a couple minutes like that, Tim Lim or whatever can keep talking, and it's a little better. Oh, Cummings says he can jump on today. So if this happens again, Cummings can keep talking. He can talk about food or something. All right. I'm gonna need to get headphones if Cummings is coming on though. Let's deal with this. Because we've got. I don't want to feedback you guys. Too many creators have lost their enthusiasm. I agree with that. You know, when we started pushing this stuff, so the reason I went into a history of the Comicsgate thing in conjunction with the Gamma Mail, we have. Let me get Cummings on here before. Oh, I guess he hasn't come in yet. Okay. The reason I went into that was that when we started, we had a situation where I guess everybody was kind of together, even though we had this Gamma Mail mentality where people were attacking the mainstream creators in the industry. Hey, Cummings, how are you? You can't hear me?
Good.
Oh, you can't hear me. Cool. Nice shirt. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about it? So do you agree with my analysis that Comicsgate kind of started as a Gamma Mail, like, lash out in a lot of ways? Like, people were just tagging creators being like, your books suck. And then that group helped spiral all this. And a lot of us who were just kind of making videos about books and stuff like that, like that we're interested in, didn't quite like know that was going on in tandem, right?
Well, I think it starts with good intentions a lot of the times. You know, people don't like
right.
A lot of the times mean malice, but then it gets into both sides start egging each other on with sort of nonsense, and
well, right. I mean, to be fair, the comic creators like Dan Slott and that are Gamma Mails also. So it's a Gamma Mail on Gamma Mail action, which is why it spiraled like it did, right?
And I've been on comic book Twitter since kicked off like probably 20 times, but these people, comic book Twitter, the creators, they've been like terrible to each other for like decades on Twitter.
Right. That's true.
That's just one. They're not like saints in any of this either.
No, I no. Like I said, most of them are gammas also. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're obnoxious. And I don't want to interact with most of them either. It's yeah. So, but we were talking about the morale and like just how creators have lost their enthusiasm. When the creators hopped on board, remember like this sort of this like talk about things and the fighting the industry and all that. We're talking like March 2017 to September 2017 was phase 1. And I'm thinking about this now, and I'm breaking down and categorizing this because I'm thinking about writing a history of Comicsgate. Because one, that's going to sell a lot of books. I know that. And then 2, it's going to get a lot of people talking about me, which is going to sell a lot of books. Right. Yeah. So obviously there's good reason to do that.
Well, the movement started like probably when you were talking about, but my channel was blowing up and people were like interested in it about the time Trump got inaugurated in.
Interesting. So yeah, February 2017 or late January 2017. Right.
Yeah.
Same time frame.
It was like over that Christmas break, my channel was like blowing up at like 900%.
Really?
Maybe 9,000. So it was like taking off huge. And then all of a sudden PewDiePie got that Wall Street Journal thing happen to him. And my channel was completely nuked since then.
I remember that.
Like every single video I've had to always just click, review for monetization. And it's like, so like from that period on, I was like hoping that it could change, but realizing that it probably wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, it's it was interesting. And that happened. And the big shift in the room was which everybody forgets now because he's not real Comicsgate, was that in September 2017, Vox Day went out and said, I'm going to do something about this. Everybody's sitting around complaining about it. And I'm getting all these messages. Everybody's emailing me. Vox does not like comics really and didn't care about comics. He'll tell you that himself.
He just wanted to make money.
He's a writer. At the end of the day, he'd rather write books. But people were coming to him. His audience was coming to him saying, you need to fix this in comics. And he's like, okay, I mean, if I've got an audience, I'll try it out. I'll see what happens. And this is when I started talking to him a lot. And he started calling me, asking me about comics because he knew I'd dabbled with the Flying Sparks thing and all that and how to create them. And it was fun. And he's like, well, I'm just going to run a crowdfund because a crowdfund is a great way to have a pre-order system and just see if there's actual interest. Right. You kind of like, I've got emails. So I kind of like, but I can't just put a book out there like with this kind of art cost because art costs a lot of money, of course. Yeah. He's like, well, a crowdfund's a great idea to see if there's a lot of interest. So I'm going to try it and see what happens.
Was this the Alt Hero campaign?
The Alt Hero campaign. Everybody out? And he did it on a platform called Freestarter. Which lasted for like 9 months. And what happened was Patreon was deplatforming who was being deplatformed? Everybody was being deplatformed at the time because it was the Trump freak out, right? And so, Vox always is one of the early adopters of all these new alt tech things, right? He always likes to go on that.
You always got to be ahead of the curve, especially on alt tech.
Right. And so he was big on Gab at the time because that was brand new. He was one of the biggest accounts on there. And he was, and Freestarter was one of the things. I moved over to Freestarter at the time. I dropped Patreon for a bit. Biggest regret of my life, because I had a Patreon going at about double what I've got now. And I dropped it and I'm like, I'm going to stand with my fellow, deplatformed creators and get a new service. And so I went over to Freestarter and I got some people over there, like some alt tech people. And some of the guys still follow me to this day, which I appreciate. But, a good half of my Patreon subscribers ducked out. And then when I went back to Patreon, didn't come back. Right. So they don't care.
One thing.
I know.
So David Wood had to get the best. If you guys don't know who David Wood is, he's a Christian apologist that debunks Islam. He stays with Patreon because he's like, well, if they deplatform me, they deplatform me. The best thing to do is just get as many outlets for people to, fund you as possible.
That's what I try to do now. And it's like, I've got Patreon. Everybody was like, you need to get, I get concerned trolled about that all the time too. And it's like, Patreon's SJW and you need to get off there. And I'm like, well, that's where most people are going to find me. So that it's like, why would I not be on YouTube? And they want me to be on some other thing where nobody's going to find me. It's like, great.
Facebook's SJW.
Everything is.
YouTube's SJW.
I know. And I always tell people, I'm like, you're on Twitter telling me not to use this other service because it's SJW. Like, if you weren't on Twitter, I might take you a little more seriously,
Exactly.
But I set up this Subscribestar thing and I'm like, okay, if you guys want to come over and do this instead, you're welcome to. And sure enough, nobody signed up for Subscribestar. So I was like, okay, so it's a pointless platform. And people do this for Amazon too. They're like, I wish you weren't Amazon exclusive. And I'm like, look, I launched a book on Kindle and Nook and Apple Books and all these others.
Amazon's so easy.
99.9% of my sales were Amazon.
You go into Google, you type in a book's name, the Amazon link pops up first. And it's usually the cheapest.
Yep, always. For everything.
And what is people going to use? They want the cheapest, easiest, fastest service.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I'm going to be on all the cheapest, easiest, fastest services. And then Paula Ritchie says, are all the platforms, are you supposed to deplatform yourself? That's what they do. And that's what, and this ties back into the Gamma discussion, because the people who do this and like go on and I get concerned trolled about Kickstarter also all the time. Like Indiegogo is where non-SJWs go. Yeah, it's like, and all the time. And I'm just like, I'm going to be on the platform where most people can find me. You know where my book is. So if you want to buy my book, you can buy my book. Well, I'm not going to buy it. It's like, well, stop then. If you're not going to buy it, I'm not interested in hearing from you. Oh man, it's just a Gamma mail troll every time.
Well, and to be fair, like I'll give companies the benefit of the doubt for the most part. Some of this stuff is just them going, I just want to make money without you complaining in my face. So I'm just going to, if somebody's complaining in my face, we'll just do it so you get out of my face. Like it's the easiest, customer service thing possible.
Yeah.
That's what it is a lot of the times, and a lot of that complaining that was going on, they had low sales for 2 years. We've seen that the sales are picking up now and the books are getting better. I read some of the books. I don't buy them, but people give them to me and I read them and I go, they're all right.
That's the thing. Like, 2 years ago, they had some people in charge who were bad, like Axel Alonso at Marvel, right? And who were just not good for the comic lines. And we're really just trying to push this social agenda crap. He brings all of his friends in because that's what an editor-in-chief does. And his friends do terrible jobs editing and they do terrible jobs writing because it's all under the same type of person. And then the corporation's invested. But you know what? At the end of the day, like their sales go like this. They know they need to change the direction, right the ship. And so they hire a new guy. Mm-hmm. And because comics are a year 2 in advance because they got to maintain these monthly schedules, which is one thing I do that none of these other Yahoos do. It takes a while to correct the course. And so you just saw it for a while. The guy cleaned house. He brought back great writers like Jonathan Hickman, and he's got Donny Cates on everything. These guys are good writers. It's like, you might not like them as a person. I don't know them as a person, so I'm not going to make anything on that. But they're good writers, and so they've righted the ship over there. And it looks like Batman. You had Tom King, and Tom King was a big name. You guys forget that, like, that Vision book he did blasted through the charts,
blew up,
and it's a Vision book, right? They're
making a TV show about it.
You couldn't keep that book in stock, and it's Vision. Nobody cares about. Nobody's ever bought a Vision book before. Nobody cared about Vision. Come on, let's be honest.
I read it and I thought it was terrible, but
I hated the book. Yeah, I read it and I the same thing. I did, and then he did Mr. Miracle.
I feel bad because I was on deployment and I asked Doug, "Hey, can you get me that book? I hear it's awesome." And he sent it to me, and I read it. And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I made him buy that for me."
It's the standard problem that a lot of deep and literary modern writers fall into, which is they take extraordinary people and they put them in ordinary situations, and they think that makes it more realistic, right? And it just makes it boring. So what Stan Lee did was the opposite, taking ordinary people and putting them in extraordinary situations, right? And that's you resonate.
The whole deal. Marvel was flawed characters,
right,
working through their issues.
Right.
DC was the opposite. They were more like, idealistic god type characters that had no problems.
That's true. But back then, like both sets of situations, they would always have them in extraordinary situations. Every issue you'd have something like Bizarro going on that's super fun, and that they use their cool bizarre situation and powers and whatever to work through. When you stick Vision and you have these like panels where it's it's like the same panel, but then like one of the heads turns and then it's the same panel and then it's all dialogue throughout the whole thing. And they're sitting at a kitchen table with a bunch of other visions for like 5 pages. Like, I can't do it, you know?
I mean, that was obviously probably made for, you know, a TV show or something. I have no idea. Or they're just caught. It's the Bendis effect. Like,
it's the Bendis effect.
That's very Bendis.
It's very Bendis. Yeah.
Everybody's copying like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, because it was different when he first started it and it was effective because it was different. But now it's just like, I don't want to read a comic book like that. It's just not, I don't know. It's not fun. And then he did Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle flew off the shelves the exact same way Vision did. So Tom King took these 2 characters, which like were characters people are not buying for those characters. Like, you know, nobody's like, yes, I'm wearing Mr. Miracle t-shirts at that point, right? I mean, no, you know, it's not happening. So he looked like he was like just this stud superstar who could do no wrong.
I mean, it's the same thing that people like Grant Morrison and Alan Moore and Frank Miller, Daredevil. It's like,
they thought it was the same deal.
Who cares about Swamp Thing? Who cares about Animal Man? You know, like these guys trailblazed on these smaller titles and then came up and did bigger things on Superman, Batman, and all that. It's the same thing that Tom King did.
And that's what they thought. They thought we have the next Grant Morrison or Alan Moore because this guy's got his dark, literary, deep, whatever stuff. Let's throw him on Batman. And he goes, I've got a 100-issue plan. And because he's such a hot commodity, they're like, sure, let's do it. Right. So, you know, they've got him planned for 3-4 years at this point already. I mean, you can't make a change. You know, it's like you got to wait that out because you've already commissioned all the art. You already got it all going. And it takes a while to make a change. And they have made the change. And apparently Batman's back to, you know, normal Batman again. So,
well, they were smart enough to put Scott Snyder's like protege on it. So, you know, even if it's bad, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be okay. Yeah, I know. And that's the deal. It's so that it takes a while to write these ships of these corporations, but they're not in it to torpedo Batman because they don't want that to happen. They want to keep the movie rights really healthy, right? Yeah. So they'll change things around. It's impossible to care at this point because like the structure of the movie deals makes it so there's no reason to care about these characters. So that's why indie comics are important because indie comics are what creates the next Batman, the next whatever, that you actually can make a story where there's progression and things like that. If you look at what I mean, my favorite's Terry Moore, of course. And you look at his storylines, he, like Rachel Rising, he had a beginning, middle, end, and it was brilliant. And he changed the characters. He went through the whole thing. Is that the black Rachel Rising edition?
It's the black one.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you for owning that. Oh man, that is my like white whale. Do you know that? Oh man, do you know how badly I want that? Oh my gosh. That is my
See, I didn't know they were gonna order. I ordered it because I wanted to read the story. I didn't know they were gonna do like a regular version of it.
I usually get the Terry Moore black cover. By the way, it sells for cheapest one on eBay is $225. So
I could buy the cheap one for like $50.
No, because that's out of print too.
Oh,
so you can get the paperback. Really you can get the paperback version.
I don't want the paperback version.
Yeah, the hardcover version. The hardcover version is also out of print and hard to find. You can get it for $126. So you could sell it and then buy the regular hardcover for half the price. Yeah, and then you'd make $100. So that is doable. Yeah.
It's not worth it. I'll just keep
gosh.
It'll go back into print someday.
It'll go back into print for sure. He just reprinted the Strangers in Paradise hardcover set, and those were also way up there. And that's his most famous one, of course. But Rachel Rising is my favorite. Probably no, it's not. I read
it every Halloween because you can blow right through it.
You can. He does great character work. It's really creepy. He does a good job. Like, I hate horror generally, but his horror is different in that it's not.
Well,
no.
It was so weird because I didn't know what was going on, and then like you get to the halfway mark, and you're like, "Oh, this is like a almost like a Genesis type horror story, and you're like, that's pretty cool. It has like this biblical theme to it.
Yeah, it definitely had a great biblical theme to it, and I love that about that, of course, because I'm into that. Oh man, it was so good, and his art's so good. It's like I love the way he draws women, and you know they always like. I noticed a lot of the our indie friends are always about like making tits so big that they're like absurd and awkward and all that. But Terry Moore doesn't do that. He just draws women
like a normal girl,
a lot more normal.
Normal
but he does it in a way that like he really highlights their femininity. And a lot of artists screw up with this, and you see a lot of problem with like big shouldered women or women with like chiseled faces that look kind of mannish. Terry Moore's really good at highlighting their femininity, and so I find them like actually much more beautiful than most. And that's it. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so jealous of you. Do you have the Motor Girl one?
I do have that hardcover somewhere.
Did you get the black version too? The black version. So collectors, guys. So if you're into this, Terry Moore does this black version, which he on his website when he comes out with a graphic novel like this, and he prints like 500, 1,000 copies, and you get in on that, and you've got that, and that's the hard one to find. And then if you miss that, then he does a normal print run like with an actual normal cover. So and his hardcovers then sell out too. So that always ends up a problem. But yeah, that Rachel Rising is one of my favorite books of all time. And it's like
30 to 50 issues, and you can just like burn through it like in a weekend. Really, like it's pretty good. I don't see it. I know it's black, but I don't know if it's like the same. I bought it off In Stock Trades, so I don't think it is because I didn't buy it off the website. But I mean, maybe I was lucky or something. I don't know. I doubt it because usually he just sells it on his web. Those editions that you're talking about, I bought that one off his website.
Yeah, that's what I try to find it when he's getting ready to do it and do that also. But I had all the issues for Rachel Rising, and so I'm like, do I really need it? And I'm like, meh, and I sat on it, and now I've purged myself of single issues. So it's like I really wish I didn't do that, but oh well.
Yeah, what the hell? Purging of the single issues is like the best thing, I think. I wish I would have been like, because the hardcover market is so large. So like if you read something and you don't like it, usually those things go up to the same value that you paid for it. People will pay for it back. So you basically read it for free, So it's like, why not?
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I'm into an hour now. So what have you got going? What's your week like? You're in full-fledged school now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm only going to class one day a week. It's all online courses. Besides that, I'm doing an entire research project where it's all going to be written off primary sources. And so I decided to do the beginning of the Comics Code and all that era. I don't know what question or anything like that I'm going to answer yet, but Chuck Dixon was great. I asked him what book for this era, because I knew he would have the answer. What book from this era, should I start with reading to understand everything? And he throws out a book. The library has it. It's waiting for me there. So I'm pretty excited to get into that. And we'll see how that goes.
That's cool.
I'll probably have one more semester after this because I only took like 12 hours because I want to work and go to school because I'm tired of just schooling. It gets monotonous and tiring.
Yeah.
And so I'll have like 3 more classes next fall or something, and then I'll be done with my bachelor's.
Awesome. So, well, that'll be good. Except for then you're going to get a real job, like 8 to 5, and then you're going to be like, I can't stream with you anymore, and then I'm going to be sad.
Unless Bitcoin goes to like $1 billion.
Do you have any Bitcoin?
I have some. Yeah.
You do. Fancy.
Oh yeah.
Now you have some.
Pretty much.
Wow. I never got into that, but that's interesting.
Well, and that's what I knew. I had so much stuff, and I needed to get rid of it. And then I was like, I always wanted to get into crypto, and so I just decided one day I was like, I have all this, these comic books sitting around. I should get rid of the ones I don't care about, and just take the risk of taking that money that's sitting in my house and put it into something else that is fake on the internet.
Nice.
Anyways, that was my idea. I mean, I've kept all the stuff that I, really at this point cherish, and I mean, I could probably almost get rid of it now because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I have like the first Punisher issue and just cool stuff like that. It's like I'm not gonna sell that. That's like the culmination of like a decade or more of collecting comics. So sure as heck not going to sell those. I sold all the stuff that, it's like, when am I going to read, this random comic that I bought at a convention because I thought the cover was cool,
Yeah, I know how you feel. Are you going to change and start investing in variant covers of random indie comics? Just whatever happens to be on Indiegogo at the time.
Oh no, because those aren't worth any money.
Oh man, yeah, it's very interesting. I always see these like fake value propositions that try to dupe, I guess, collectors. But honestly, if you just buy,
they only maintain by presenting this as like some sort of money making endeavor, and it's like,
right.
Like I understand, like when you look at, because I've changed from listening to Ben Shapiro on the radio to putting my phone up on my dash and listening to like finance podcasts and stuff.
Yeah,
and finance is almost the same as that, where they're trying to sell you some bullshit.
Right.
But you have to do a lot of research so you understand what you're putting your money into. That's like the difference. And it's almost like you really don't, unless you just nerd out and do that all the time, you're probably just throwing your money away.
And if you nerd out and do that all the time and you're looking to, quote, make money, like, I mean, there's only so much money you can make on speculating over comics anyway. Like if you really put that dedication, if you put that dedication into the stock market, like you would be way better off. You actually want to invest.
Oh yeah. I started investing in the crypto because I think it's a small market that nobody's into right now, and I think it's going to get bigger.
Yeah.
So when it gets bigger, me being an early investor, you would benefit from that. But I mean, I'm not only invested in crypto though. I mean,
of course,
I have in the stock market, and I own property and everything else.
Yeah,
everything that you should if you want to have generational wealth.
Kanye says property is the way to go.
Yeah, well, and if Kanye says it, he probably talked to Ramsey,
probably
Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, he probably called him up, right? Hey.
I love his radio.
I heard about your debt program. I got 64 million in debt. Can you help?
Well, I remember when he was going crazy about debt.
The thing is, like, he probably had 64 million in loans or something, but like, they're probably on like income properties and things like that. It's like, it's not, when he says he's got debt, it's not the same as I have debt.
Gordon Ramsay almost went bankrupt, but it was because he was too expanded with his businesses. He had to like cut them down and like get rid of half of them that weren't worth. Donald Trump, the same thing. I mean, that's the reason why they make fun of him, because of the 90s. Well, he was too inflated and most of the shit was failing.
Yeah. Oh, well, what can you do? I'm going to go on vacation is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just have fun, unplug, tune out on the beach. I offered to give Cummings my channel access so he could just stream or do whatever. And he said no, because he's got his own channel.
I mean, I got 18,000 subscribers if I cared.
You got 18,000 subscribers you're not using. Can I buy your channel?
It's been going down because I haven't streamed in like 2 years.
I'll just acquire your channel from you. I'll give you a Bitcoin for it.
Well, remember, my channel was pretty much ruined when PewDiePie got in trouble
That's true.
by the Wall Street Journal.
So are you do you think you're how do you say that, shadow banned on YouTube?
Oh, most definitely.
Definitely. Interesting. I don't feel like I am, which is shocking.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes you have to be at a certain like
you have to
point.
get noticed.
Like at one point I was getting more views than like, and this was like in 2000, like late 2016, early 2017. I was getting more views than like the MTV channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then at one point it just went, and I couldn't get nothing. And then you get frustrated, and you know, it is whatever it is. I think that if I would have just created a new channel and started from scratch, it would have been fine.
Interesting.
But I don't know. You know, if I cared about doing another channel now, I definitely wouldn't do it on my shadow ban channel that's, you know, ruined. But that is what it is. Because what's his name? Jeremy from what is this channel? The one with the magic cards or whatever.
Yeah, the quarter. Yeah,
because his other channel was basically
right. I remember that.
The same manner that mine was.
Yes, smart of him. I don't know. It feels like a lot of work to like start up a new channel and like do it all from scratch, though, doesn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, I built mine up to 20,000 subscribers. The thing is funny is like I got more views when I had like 2,000 and it was rapidly growing than when you had like 20,000 subscribers.
Well, they do funky things with like, it's like Facebook with its like way that it shows you some posts or doesn't show you other posts. If you're getting engagement, it probably shows your videos to more people. And then if you're not getting certain engagement, it does the same thing, right? And it probably hides your videos at that point from the people who are even subscribing. It sucks.
Well, and yeah, it just shows that engagement and views is way more important than subscribers, because your channel could have subscribers that don't give a shit about your content. Like
my channel.
Like they subscribe because of one video or something like that, but you don't normally do that type of videos or something. And then they're like, why am I subscribed to this person? Or, you know.
Yeah, I just make videos about comic books and nobody reads comic books. So
yeah,
sad. It might be okay if I would make them new comic books. And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, I should really probably keep on top of new releases, and that would probably do better. Because
but you would be spending like $4 or whatever on.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I want to read what I want to read. I don't want to read what like I have to read. And I don't, you know, at a point, like basically I'm a writer who happens to do YouTube at this point. And I don't want to change that. I don't want to become a YouTuber who happens to do writing, right?
Because that's no fun.
It's not.
Then you're working to try to maintain views when you just want to write and maybe talk on YouTube a little bit.
Right.
Like that's the difference. And if your YouTube channel for whatever reason does gain some traction and gain you a little bit more money, then
it's great. Yeah. So, but we want to keep it focused on the writing. And I think that's the thing. I've even like, I mean, people have probably noticed like on all platforms, I've dialed back all the politics a lot. Cause it's like, you know, I mean, I have fun during elections and things like that, and I'm interested in that sort of thing. But like, you know, now I've got like a business to run. So it's like, and this is it. And so I can screw around and rah about the latest political topic or whatever. But like, I don't know, like that's not going to cultivate the right audience for buying my like pew spaceship books, right? Yeah.
Well, and politics is fun, but like it really gets boring after a while, like just like anything else. I mean,
there's a lot of like talking about the same thing. It's like over and over again that like you just can't get past. It's like I can't watch a Fox News show now, you know.
I realized at one point that it's like Greek theater, where people are more upset about what somebody did than like the actual principles about what's going on. And that's like really what politics is,
Right.
more or less. Like
It is.
it's all bullshit.
It is. It drives me crazy. It's boring. And there's never, and nobody cares about any sort of policy. Well, like once I realized nobody cared about any sort of policy, it's all just like a tribal thing. I was just like, I'm done, you know? Yeah. So sad.
Edwin's asking, GOP or libertarian? I vote usually libertarian just to be a smartass until it gets to like candidates that I actually care about.
I hate libertarians. You're banned. Banned, Captain Cummings. All right. Oh man. Hello, Edwin, by the way, and hello, Serena. Welcome, Serena. I don't think I've seen you here in a long time. Hikaru, hello. Felsbug, hello. I don't think I've said hi to a lot of people. Dick Richard, what a great name. Oh, Preston's here. Hey, Preston, welcome. We got a good crew. Hey, Sam. I missed Sam earlier. Who else did I miss? Jay Fairclough. Hey, Fiona. I've mentioned you. Rumble Terrier. Welcome. Yeah, I got to say hi to everybody because I'm bad about that whole thing. Oh well.
I like what Jay says. Cummings has never lasted 5 months on Twitter. That's probably true because I just flame out and then get banned or I delete my account.
Yeah, I wish I had the courage to delete my account and just stick to it.
At one point, I had like 5,000 followers.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at now. And I just don't want to lose my 5,000 followers and then regret it. So, but I'm shadow banned on Twitter pretty badly. Like people do not see my posts. It sucks.
Yeah.
But I run my crowd funds and I run my little like links, and Twitter made me direct links like $3,000 or $4,000 on the last crowdfund campaign. So it's worth being on there just for that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Because you just post some links every once in a while.
You don't want to lose your 300. How do you have 317,000 followers?
Yeah, I don't. He has like double the followers every time I get back on Twitter.
What'd you do to get those? I want 317,000 followers.
He just posts like Whoopi memes like every 2 or 3 times a day.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
And he never antagonizes anybody.
Oh, interesting.
He said, "Don't ask."
Yeah, I don't know. It's always a struggle on how to build the platform, and I don't want to pay to build the platforms. I hate those. I think those, like, I've seen people do that, and you don't get good followers. Like I've seen that happen, and I've seen people do the. I do. Does that mean you pay to do the followers? I don't know. And the other things that I see is a lot of people follow people and then try to get follow backs from their followings. And I find that when you gain followers in that kind of way, that you don't end up getting people engaged who actually want to hang out and talk. So it's like, it's just, there's no point in just drumming up the count, you know? Yeah. Oh, well. There's got to be but I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll just keep doing what we're doing, be on every big platform, like you mentioned, and just make it easy for people to pick up the books. And then, you know, eventually it's got to go. So, I want to promote a 6 Scale Combat's book before I head out here. This guy made a new book, and I backed it this morning. So let me pull it up on Indiegogo. It's almost funded. I want to be like, I want to do the thing like where we can like push somebody over the top because we're trying to do these indie projects and all that. And this is a big part of what I want to do the platform for, to be able to help indie creators. And we're at a spot where he's at $418 out of $500, and I know my audience is going to love this book. So let me throw the link in the chat and then pull it up on the stream here so we can talk about this a little bit. All right. Have you seen this, Cummings? It's called The Napalm Brothers.
Oh, yeah, I did that. I bought 2 of them.
Oh, sweet. So you've backed it too. Look at that. You got your audience base right here. Cool.
If my Twitter still existed, you could see.
Awesome. Yeah, so we are at 83%. and it's not much. I mean, $418 to $500, like we can get this funded real quick. So this is a military book that just like looks like a ton of fun, and with some hijinks in it, a big gorilla. Gosh, that triggers me because Harambe.
It's Harambe's brother.
It's Harambe. Sure. Oh man, gosh, I miss that gorilla. So you got the hijinks. You got some Nam. Let's see. Cooper and Peko both served in the Marine Corps in Nam. Were they in the shit 6-scale combat? Can you answer that? Can I bring you on? Where are you? I'm gonna send you a Twitter link. You can talk about your book. That way I don't have to like be awkward about it. I backed it because it looks fun, but I don't know much about it other than that. So you can.
Yeah, I looked at the artwork and I go, man, that's pretty cheap for like a single issue. I'll get it.
Right.
Why not? Even if it sucks, I don't like care.
$5 digital PDF for 24 pages. That's standard. $10 physical book.
Some of these other ones, it's like $20. I'm like, I gotta love you to like give you $20.
Right. That's why I do $20 for a graphic novel. Like, and I'm not talking 48 pages. That's not it's technically a graphic novel, but it's not. But that's why I throw 72 pages into there. So like you get a full big thing. Otherwise, you're right. It's like you really have to like be dedicated to somebody for that, because of the whole value proposition of entertainment right there. But this is about standard Kickstarter fare is what I'd say. You'd get a single issue for about $10. Sometimes they're $7 if they're like really not trying to make money, I guess. Because there's, these books cost $6-7 to print.
$12 would only be fair. That's probably too much, but I don't know. It's just like $20. It's like I feel like for $20 I can go and buy, like, the Image trades are $10. It's like you're really like
right
weighing out like what I want here.
It is, but I also get it because like Image prints 10,000, so their print costs are like $1 a book or something stupid, and the print costs of these are like $4 or $5 a book. So he's really not even making that much money on this. And that's but yeah, I just saw it. I'm like, this looks fun. This looks my speed. It's got a little of everything. It's got little cheesecake right here. It's got a little action with a giant gun right here, and it's got a freaking gorilla. So what else could I ask for? Oh, cool. He got he had a sold out at 50, sold out at 100. So I wonder what this reward was. Get your name on a gravestone. For real. What is that? Oh, like a real gravestone? Oh, gravestone in the book. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Back.
Get your name on a gravestone. That sounds like it would be pretty expensive in real life.
Yeah. YouTube censors the gorilla emoji. This is news. Drake always helps me find what YouTube censors in the chat. They really censor the gorilla emoji. Oh, I get it. Oh, I kind of get why. Because people chat and are pretty not nice. It'd be fun if they censored it because they were just so triggered over Harambe, though. Like, that's why I'd censor it. Gravestone Press. That's true. Cool. So that's this book. I put the link in the chat. The Napalm Brothers. I don't know if like talking about it for 30 seconds. Oh, we got 2 backers. Look at that. All right. Look at this. We're making it happen. Should I run a telethon and just like stay on the chat until this hits 500 and just make it happen and do it like that? Can you stream for 4 hours?
I'm staring at the computer screen. It's 2 seconds behind. It's like 10 seconds behind. I should be staring at the phone. You should be
staring at yeah. Cool. So we got it a little bit closer. We were at 83%. Now we're at 87%. Cummings and I have both backed this book. We are both supporting it. The Gravestone Press guys I like. And it's Doug Garrett, and Doug Garrett did a book called Lone Wolf, and I read Lone Wolf, and it was actually well written and had a real story to it, which a lot of these indie books that I've seen so far do not. So I trust him now because he actually put a real story into a book, and that's part of this. And of course, 6-scale Combat's a great guy. That's the other reason I'm into this. So yeah, I don't know. Let's do it. Let's crowdfund this. We're crowdfunding. How many people do we got in the chat? We have 30 people in the YouTube chat right now. watching right now. How many people are on Facebook Live? Facebook Live people tune out pretty quick because there's a weird weird thing with it. Let me look on whatchamacallit. Okay, I've only got one viewer on Twitter. Okay, sad. I get lots of post views on Twitter though. That's interesting. But we can do it. We have 30 people here. 4 of us have backed it already. So that means there's 26 of you who need to back it. And if 26 of you back it right now, even at the $5 level, we'll get to 500. And then we can be that crowdfund show that does this.
Guys, instead of buying Miss Marvel this week, buy this book.
Oh, right. Felsbug mentioned we got to sell comics differently. Guys, this book owns the SJWs. This is it. If you want to own them, if you want to upset them, back this book.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how you do it, right? That's how you sell books. So we can go pick a fight on Twitter real quick and then see if that, and then drop the link after that when people are engaged.
Yeah.
That'll work too. Yeah, sorry, I was talking about the book.
You got to kick me off the stream and then say that I'm not part of the John Della Rose squad, and then I'll
and
say a Facebook war because I don't have Twitter anymore.
Facebook wars I don't think are as helpful because you don't get all the onlookers,
Yeah. My account's private, so I don't.
Yeah. Oh, so you really don't get any onlookers. Yeah, it doesn't help.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh well, we tried. We oh yeah. So Edwin says you need to be screaming about how Napalm Brothers is going to crush the skulls of the soy boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. There we go. And then you have to talk about some butt stuff. So, but that's not going to happen on the stream. No. Oh well. I don't know. That's what I'm excited about. And I'm going to get back to the book because I care about books. So I'm done with the nonsense. Sorry. It was just fun for a sec. But I mean, I seriously thought the gorilla looked fun, and I thought the dudes in gas masks and the Vietnam theme sounded fun. Sounded a little different from things out there, and so I was like, hey, let's try it out. It's pretty inexpensive, right?
Yeah, it's got like a throwback sort of like Tagger, 90s hip hop style of artwork. That's cool.
The hip hop, yeah, it's not 90s image style. It's the 90s hip hop style, and I like that too. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that street art style. Love it. Mm-hmm. And I think Six Scale Combat did it all himself, which is another cool aspect. He wrote it. I think he colored it even himself. If I'm not wrong. I mean, this is like a one-man project, and he just worked his tail off. And I appreciate people who work. Let's see. Here it is. Yeah, he wrote the story, did all the artwork and the covers. And the colors. It's just a one-man show. That's pretty sweet. Six Scale Combat show.
My problem is I've never been good at wanting to work. It's not that I don't work as a team. I mean, I'll try to do my best doing whatever I do, but it's like I always seem to get stuck with somebody that isn't really into whatever they're doing, and it's like I would rather do it myself, but I can't draw, so I'm probably never gonna feel like the need to actually do I guess if I took my money and then paid someone to do it, that would be the whole way to go, I guess.
Six Scale Combat said he couldn't stream, and he made it anyway. Welcome.
Yeah, hey, buddy. Can you guys hear me or not?
We hear you great.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys talking about this book, and both of you actually buying the book. That's really cool. And yeah, you did have some questions about, kind of why I chose this Vietnam theme.
Yeah.
So I guess I can give you a really quick answer before I drop my kid off, because I have to do that as well. But I thought that was like a really interesting question. So I've always been interested in the 60s and the 70s. They had a lot of great art and music and all that stuff. But it was also an era when the U.S. lost its innocence, And
100%.
Now I took a bit of a chance using this era to set my story in. But from my perspective, this conflict wasn't as black and white as some people make it out to be, And the standard narrative now is that America kind of behaves like the Germans did in World War II. But that's just not true, For instance, sorry?
Oh, I was just going to add in, I'm sorry. Vietnam has the biggest historiography in terms of like books that are written for a war.
Exactly, and a lot of it's a pretty let's say leading towards a certain narrative, And I kind of wanted to give a different perspective. So if you kind of look at the first wave of the guys going in, these were all highly trained, highly motivated professionals. So that was the advisors. And then if you look at the characters from my book, it's based on a couple of Marines. It's sort of a detective story post-war, but these Marines, these guys were not conscripts. They actually had to join the Marine Corps in order to go over to Vietnam. So they were also motivated up to a certain degree. These guys, they went over, they did their job, they came back, and they were shunned for 20 years. So of course, if you look at the late period, let's say early to mid 70s, a lot of conscripts were highly demotivated in an unpopular war. But that's not what I'm trying to portray here. And I think that's that side of the Vietnam era. It's a path that has been beaten to exhaustion, so to speak. So that's
Edwin Boyette says he just picked up his copy, and somebody else did. Yakov Merkin did on the. Thank you guys for supporting this. Awesome. Yeah, so we're up to 24 backers now, 94% of the goal, and let's see, so 473. So we need like $27 to get there.
I have to say that's badassery of the top shelf. And actually, I did send Edwin a proof print because I made a couple of proof prints to look if my format was okay. And Edwin also looked at some early drafts that I did, and he shared some of his opinion on it. So I thought I kind of would repay him with that.
That's awesome.
Anyway, awesome stuff, man. I hope we make this, and I hope we get to do some stretch goals because we got some cool stretch goals. The Ashcan Charlie and the Wire, that's basically sort of a backstory of one of the characters that's in the book, and then we also got the death cards, sort of the calling cards stuff.
Cool.
And it's cool. So
3 copies away.
I'm really honored to be in the stream with the 2 OGs of CG. I think John, you're an awesome dude, and Captain Cummings, man, hats off, man, both for your service to your country and also for your service to comics.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Awesome, Six. Thanks for coming by,
guys. I have to head out and do my stuff, but again, I really appreciate it.
Nice chatting with you, brother. See ya.
All right, see ya.
You have a great day.
Cool.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Look at this. We're telethoning and it's working, Captain Cummings. Oh, that makes me so happy. I really just this is the goal. I really want to be like the indie comics channel that really makes it happen. So this is, you have no idea. This isn't even my book. And I'm just like, yes.
Well, and what I like about this project is it is at a price point that's worth getting into.
Yeah.
It's like, I see $20 for 48 pages. And I understand, you can't make the same profit margins that a Marvel or DC is going to with that. But 25, 30, more money, I'm just it starts to get out of control, in my opinion.
It's tough, but it is tough to make money on comics. This guy's I talked to Sixth earlier, and he's like, this is really a passion of his, and he set this bar pretty low at $500 because he's like, look, I could do all the art myself, so I didn't have to pay for it. It took a lot of his time, of course, which we got to eat, of course. For me, it's like, as a professional, if I'm spending my time, I'm getting paid, right?
Yeah.
This is his first book, so he's not, he doesn't have that mentality yet, I guess. So he's just like, I love doing it. I just want to cover the print costs, and I just want my book to be out there, and that's that's a cool thing, and I'm happy to support him. So.
Well, and he'll get it has a great cover. He can get that up on Comixology, and maybe something would happen. I don't know.
I think so too. and I'm sure he will eventually. All right, we're up to 25 backers now. How did the dollar amount not go out, but the backer amount went up? That's bizarre.
Maybe it hasn't registered.
Yeah. Huh. Hey, we got Midnight Sherry in the chat. Oh my gosh. I disavow. And this is, that's another thing. He finished it and is ready to print. I like this too. And I try to get my books finished before I actually launch my crowdfund, just so there's no hiccups also. Because you never, I mean, what if an artist dies, or what if, I mean, I hate to say that, but what if things are, what if that happens? Or what if like anything happens? I mean, you could be stuck for a long time. So I try to get my books done, and I like people that do the same. I think it's a smart way to do things, just so you have it in hand, and then you can deliver and then show you're a person that delivers. That's what sets some people apart than others.
I used to have a policy where I would only, fund campaigns that were like almost done with their book. Ironically, B. Clay Moore said he was almost done with the book, and 5 years later, we're still not finished with the book. But that's besides the point. Like, even if you have those policies, you're still going to get burned.
Yeah. Oh, so okay, so this did refresh. Okay, so let's go. 480. Okay, so the isn't that weird? Indiegogo's backer like algorithm moves separately than the dollar algorithm for updating.
Oh, there it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Isn't that weird?
So maybe it didn't check. Maybe it was waiting for the payment. That may be a payment thing.
Oh, it might be.
So you got a backer. So then once the payment goes through, then the money goes up.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why crypto is important. We got to have that instantaneous.
We do. Now, Kickstarter updates it without you having to refresh, which I like too, to be honest.
Well, because they don't take the money until the campaign's over.
Yeah. Wow. I want to sit here and just until we get 2 backers, just so we can declare victory. Is that okay? Do you have time to do that? Do I have time to do that? I got to go on vacation, guys. I got to get back to work. So it's important for me to get off this stream, work, and then get packed and then go to the airport. So if you guys don't help this happen, it's going to ruin my day, and that's important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they might want to ruin my day, though. That might not be a good idea. See, Edwin's got a better idea. He says, we get $500. JDA will get his hair braided into cornrows on vacation and a henna tattoo of a Battletoad. Wow. I didn't agree to that, but we can pretend.
A Battletoad. What's a Battletoad?
Battletoad was this like property from the 90s or something like that. And it's kind of like a Ninja Turtles clone. It is what it is.
It's really hard.
Yeah. If we ruin John's day, we will ruin John's day if we get it back. That's a better selling point.
Well, because we don't like this book. We hate this book.
We hate it, and we don't want it backed. That'll get it backed better, right? Because we're bad people, so not wanting it, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Whatever makes it backed, guys. We'll do whatever.
I mean, within reason.
I've got. Why is my front door locking and unlocking over and over? I'm confused.
Oh, I know the freaking what's that called on Battletoads where they're on the like scooter and you just crash every time and you never beat it. Yeah, I know that level. I remember when I got back into like collecting NES games, I got Battletoads and I was so hyped. I was like, man, this game was so fun. And I played it for like 5 minutes and I was like, this game's not any.
Edwin says to bring up the page art again to make it sell. Here we go. There we go. This is this man's own hard work art. He does it himself. He does the coloring himself. He's got an awesome
that
style.
has a very Ed McGuinness look to it.
Oh, this is a good one from Cherry. Own JDA and Captain by backing it. It basically, yeah. I mean, if you really want to own us and like show us that how bad we are, you'll back this book. Because yeah, spend your super chat dollars on this instead of super chats. There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody said to repost the link. Oh yeah, it's been a while, huh? That's true. All the chat's gone for a bit, so it makes it easier. Boom, boom, boom. Buy it to spite us. This is a good. I mean, if we could sell books like this, I don't mind selling books like this. Yeah. Oh man, how much are you going to sell me that Rachel Rising Black for?
But then I wouldn't have it.
Oh.
Oh, but you probably have the hardcover of the green version, huh?
I don't, because I was unable to find even that. Yeah, because I don't want to pay $150 for a regular standard hardcover. You know,
it was originally like $50 or something like that.
Yeah, it's silly. So
like I bought
$49.
I bought that one for $100, and then I was mad when the other hardcover was $50, and I was like, oh, I could have just got that one.
We're $11 away. So that means this $10 will not get us there. So we need $10 plus $1. So we still need two backers.
Unless they were like me, where I added on another book.
Oh,
and
you could.
It cost like $5.
Or one international person, a physical for non-US residents could do it. There you go. We're that close. We did this. There are some used copies of Amazon Rachel's Rising for $78. Yeah, that's the paperback softcover version. Oh, the hardcover? Let me look. Hold on. We're going to Amazon. Rachel Rising.
It'll give you guys some time to go.
Napalm. $80. Used good. I don't trust good. Do you trust very good?
I trust very good when it's like $5, not when it's like
$80. That's sketchy.
I mean, very good sounds good.
It says unread in shrink wrap.
That means new.
That means new.
You could always
1 inch crunches the upper and right corner, lower corners on the right side.
So it was damaged.
Yeah, it's kind of damaged. This cover has visible markings and wear. See, I don't want to buy that. Yeah, look, see? New. Minor dings to edge of hardcover. See? Even at 100.
See, I would only buy that for $30 or $20 or something like that.
Exactly. If I just wanted to have it, but I don't know that I actually just want to have it at, with 1 inch crunches to the upper and lower corners to the right side. So those are the side that don't have the binding on it. So it could have. So yeah, it just depends on how. Yeah, that could mean anything. Check eBay. Look at this one's not on eBay. Unfortunately.
Well, and that's what sucks about. That's the only thing that sucks about Amazon is they don't have pictures of the books. So I being in college, I buy books on Amazon all the time because it's cheaper than the college bookstore.
Yeah, I mean,
usually
there's only 4 on Amazon, and the lowest is 126, and this one doesn't even have a picture. It just says excellent condition. So,
yeah.
See, the paperback is $60. That's even that's sold out everywhere. Jeez. I don't want the paperback though. Not for this book. Nope.
The paperbacks are good, but if you're going to want to keep it and read it every year,
yeah,
you're going to want the hardcover.
You are, and that's me. That's this book for me. All right, so where were we on Indiegogo? Before I got distracted here because I got a telethon. Oh, look, Napalm's now trending on the front of the page. We made that happen because here's the secret. Not that many people buy books on Indiegogo. So when you just get a few sales and you'll be, I guess it's recommended for you because I buy comics though. But anyway, you'll be seen on the comics page a little better, even if with just a few backers, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Especially over a short time.
Yeah. So we're getting it trending, which is good. I'm running out of time though because I've got a lot to do before I go on vacation. So we got to make this happen, guys. Yeah, Baron says sorry about the book condition. Yeah, me too. I want it. I want a nice Rachel Rising cover.
Jay says he has the Hellboy library editions. I have the.
I've seen those. Those are beautiful.
I have the Goon ones. The Goon ones.
Oh, the Goon ones are nice too.
Yeah, those are really fun. there's not much. I mean, horror style, fun comics.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, he's got all of them. Yep. I think there's like 7 of, or there's 7 now. That's a lot of books. So they're great looking. So, and Hellboy, I had a little fun with. But I actually bought those, the big trades back when those were out first. The thick trades, right? And I read like the first like 5 or 6 volumes because I was sick and I was at home, so I was bored. And I had the flu, so I was puking for like 3 days. And so unfortunately, like I didn't love Hellboy just because I like it. I relate it to a hellish experience, unfortunately. But I could tell it was good. I just like didn't get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. The best time to read a comic is when you got like a beer. You can just sit down, relax, drink your alcoholic beverage, enjoy it.
I agree.
Not when you're vomiting. When you're vomiting, it's like, oh.
All right. It looks like I tapped out my stream. Doesn't look like doesn't look like I can get us there. I'm so sad. I gotta go. People. Make me happy before I go on vacation. Levy Ramirez says, enjoy your vacation. Levy's great. Levy's my Flying Sparks colorist, and he's working on issue number 10 right now for volume 4. So thanks for being here, Levy, and thanks for doing your hard work. Doug says, thanks for the promotion. Yeah, no problem. We wanted to get this done. So you guys are good people, and you produce comics, and you do a good job at it. So we want to help out people who do that. Dick Richard says, I read books on the toilet. So everybody does. Or they check Twitter on the toilet.
I don't have Twitter.
You don't have Twitter. That's true. So you're reading books on the toilet.
I mean, I had Twitter for like a few months because I was on the crypto news. And then that was it.
That's it.
You know what I found out, though, was when I was paying attention to the crypto news, the crypto people are just as gamma and, antagonistic as everybody else. Like, I realized following those people that they're just the same as all other Twitter is. Like,
I think anybody who spends their time all day on the internet obsessing over something is typically like got a gamma propensity or something, Well,
it's so much so like sense, you want to get them, and Twitter is exactly about like the snapback, so you can get those likes off the snapback.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, guys, we have $11 to go to fund this. We need one international buyer. We need a physical copy and a digital copy bought, or we need a physical copy with an extra copy bought because it's an extra $5 for a second copy. If you want to buy one for a friend, that would do that.
That's what I do.
And that
buy it and I give it to somebody.
Yeah. And that'll get it seen by more people, and that's pretty cool. So we're almost there. Twitter is as bad as opioids. Yeah, it is an addiction, and I'm super addicted to it, 100%. Yeah, oh yeah, if somebody gives $1 to throw this over, I'm pretty sure you can just put in $1 to back it.
Yeah.
Just put it over there, because we're at $4.99 now. We need to get $1. I'll just do that. $100. I didn't say that. Is it going to put my credit card information up on the screen?
Probably. You might want to.
It won't let me just back for $1?
Oh, you probably have to do it within 5.
Oh, no, I had to put the periods in there. I'll just put $1 in here and make it happen. Oh, cool. It doesn't dox me. Okay. Gosh, a fire hydrant. Is that it? I think that's it. Oh, they're putting up more? Go away. Why is it this one that like doesn't stop? I think that's all the fire hydrants. Ugh, traffic lights. Okay, I'm not a robot. Okay, we got our $1. Now I can quit streaming. Okay, did it work? No, it hasn't uploaded yet. Come on, I want to declare victory before I leave. Did it go through? Like, did I get an inbox like saying it worked? I don't think it worked.
What the? Well, you gotta wait. It's not. Telling you.
Did it go $100? I didn't put $100 in. What the heck?
Did you just put $100 in?
No way. I didn't mean to do that. I'm refunding. I made a duplicate donation. There we go. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I wanted to put $1 in. Can you not do that? That's crazy. Holy crap.
$100.
I backed the book. If you look here, I will show you that I backed this book. Right here, I got a book. Okay, so there you go. I didn't want to put $100 in. How'd that even? So it won't let you put $1 in. That sucks. Kickstarter, like you can put in just I put in just $1 just so people can back. Oops, I'm back on my project.
Well, sometimes it's fun so you can see if you know someone's going to be a train wreck, and you want to see the updates of them like crying to their fans, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I ain't got the book done."
We need
like you
one
just throw
backer.
$1 in there to get those updates.
One person, you can at $2. But we need. Well, let's get a person who's actually going to like read the PDF or whatever. $5 for a PDF. You get a comic book. You can throw this over the top so we can declare victory. There we go. No refunds. That's really funny. Oh man, what a nightmare! It didn't even go through too. That's the other funny part.
It wasn't fast enough yet. You're lucky it wasn't Bitcoin because it'd be gone.
Woo, yeah. Gosh, I put $1. You saw me type in 1.00. Gosh.
At least it wasn't 1,000 or more.
Oh my gosh!
When I went to Japan, I was drunk and I was trying to take money out. You know, those yen, they're like funny money. They're not actually real. And I took out I was trying to take out I was doing the math in my head and I was drunk. And I was trying to take out like $2,000 or something like that, and it wouldn't let me. And I was like, "This is bullshit." And I was actually trying to take out like $200, but I did the math wrong, and I was trying to take out like 2,000.
Oh man, I'm getting tagged by irritating people on Twitter. Let me block them all.
And I had blocked most people, at least the war campaign people on Twitter when I was on there.
I did too, and I did that stupid thing where I unblocked everybody at the at the beginning of the year. So I've got a bunch of them. So I just got tagged and like something to try to like get me to fight with somebody. It's like, geez, I just don't want to do that. I'm just going to block anybody who makes me do that.
I love this comment here. I can see the Twitter outrage tonight. JDA demands refund from small creators.
I know, right? We did it. Okay, cool. We can declare victory. All right. Thank you, whoever finished this off. We did it. We got Napalm funded on stream. Holy crap. We got, this is good. We got 8 backers over the course of the stream. We had about 30 people watching the whole time. So this stream does like a 1 to 3 conversion rate if we like really harp on something. How great is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we really say, hey, do it, or we're never going to stop.
Yeah, they want us to stop. They're like, please stop streaming. Jeez, we want to go away. Go away, Cummings and John. Oh, man, I'm so excited. We did it. We got an indie book completely funded. It was at about $400 at the beginning of the day, so we crushed it. And I'm happy. I'm happy for Six Scale Combat and his book. He did a lot of good, hard work. And, he deserves to be rewarded. So love it. Indie books forever, people. Thank you so much for helping out and for being big supporters of independent content and changing the course of the culture. We are going to do this. We're going to do it the right way. We're not going to do it by talking smack about people, except for, each other. That's okay. In a loving way. We're going to do it by promoting the actual books, and it's going to work out long term. Watch. This is the first time something like this has happened on the stream, so it's only going to get bigger from here. And I love you guys. So, anything from you, Cummings, before we go?
No.
We can go now.
No, I'm gonna go cook and then eat.
What are you
dinner.
cooking? I know Jay Fairclough, John, 100-pound dollar. That's cute. Jay Fairclough wants to know what you're cooking because he's into that.
Tacos. It's Tuesday. It's not Tuesday, but I'm still gonna do tacos because I feel like it.
It's Tuesday somewhere in the world.
Well, and also,
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I'm taking a Espanol class,
Oh,
elementary Spanish, so I can finish up my
¿Cómo?
degree.
Como se dice? Como se dice?
So I know basic German, basic bitch German. Now I'll know basic bitch Spanish.
Beautiful.
The world's mine after that. I mean, come on.
It is.
I'll go to the border and I'll tell them, get out of here in their own native language.
Awesome. Yeah.
Unless they're Portuguese, then it's fucked.
They have to go back and we funded a comic. That's the takeaway for today.
They have to go back and we funded a comic.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for streaming with me. Thanks for helping this get funded. And this is awesome. I'm so stoked right now, guys. I'm just going to read this book. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't get any money off of it. It's just we're helping out a new creator, and this is just what we're here for. So I'm going to go on vacation. I won't be streaming. If I'm not jet lagged Wednesday next week. I told Omar from Near Mint Condition, he's got a much bigger channel, but he's going to roll on here and talk comics with me if I'm okay. If I am jet lagged, we'll do it some other time, and I'll probably stream on Thursday and do something else. And I'm going to post a bunch of links to my book to Twitter before I start flying out, and I'm going to check out of there too. And I'm just going to be gone for the weekend and block all the gamma mails. So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. See you. Thanks for coming. What's the line on the football game? Should we bet, Cummings? Hold on.
Oh, we have to bet.
Super Bowl. All right. The odds line, because this is our last stream before the Super Bowl. Okay. The spread is Kansas City by 1.5. That's a tight. That's calling it a tight game.
Might as well just call that even.
Right. Would you take Kansas City by 1.5? What are we going to bet? Your Rachel Rising Black book against I'll draw you into a comic?
No.
I'll bet this. I will back the next indie comic you want on Indiegogo or Kickstarter if the Niners lose. You back the next I'll back it on your behalf and send it to you, right? You back it on my behalf and send it to me if the Chiefs win. Or wait, if the Niners that didn't make sense. If the Niners win, I get the book. If the Chiefs win, you get the book. Is that fair? Because it's that close.
I mean, that's as fair as it gets.
That's a good one. And we won't do one that's like a $50 book or anything like that. We're talking what I'm talking about. A normal book. Let's do that.
PDF digital or something like that.
Is that fair?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You'll take the bet? All right.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll support indie comics while making our bets. That sounds great. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how we'll do it.
No Rachel Risings. No $400 Rachel Rising books.
Right. Dynamite Thor campaign when? I'm looking at February 12th. That's what I'm kind of anticipating. I'm kind of waiting to see how far we get on the recoloring mastering of the of the Golden Age stuff to see how it goes. And then, if we're close enough, I think I'll start it then. If we're really far out still, then I probably will hold off a little bit, but somewhere in the middle of February, because I need to get this going so I can get then Flying Sparks Volume 4 out also. So, because I've got a lot of books in the pipeline. So that's the hopes. All right. Check out books, enjoy books, have fun, and have a great day, everybody. See ya. He says he will back whenever I never talk about football again. That's a good last thing to end on.